So in my first video I forgot to wear green, so yeah, I fixed it. I'm wearing green in a Leprechaun review. Does that make it better? Leprechaun 2, an improvement on the first one, and it's not saying much actually. It's really not. Again, stars Warwick Davis and all the actors I don't know, but Jack Klomp is from Seinfeld. I forget the actor's name, but you know, Jerry, it's a good pen. That guy, if you've seen Seinfeld, so he's in this. He plays Morty. And there's whatever teenage kid dude and girl. This one, it starts way back, 1,000 years ago from the 90s. Leprechaun in Ireland, I guess. He wants to get a wife. He's tricking this guy. He's like, hey, help me get this lass or whatever. And then the guy finds out it's gonna be his granddaughter. He's like, no, can't marry her. And he helps her and screws over Leprechaun. She sneezes once, she sneezes twice. She'll be my wife if she sneezes thrice. So there's that whole thing. But the guy saves his granddaughter or whatever. Daughter, something like that. And so Leprechaun kind of puts a curse. 1,000 years from now, I'm gonna bang one of your relatives. Believe me on that, I will bang your relatives. So he goes 1,000 years to the 90s, and yeah, he's trying to marry, I guess, the farthest descendant. And so he's doing that. She's already got a boyfriend, and I think they're supposed to be like 16, but they look like they're 24. And yeah, the kid he works with, I forget if he's his uncle or just like a mentor, but they're like kind of a con duo group of sorts where they run a really shitty ride. And they're like, oh, we can like scam the leprechaun to steal his gold and this and that. And this movie's just a more fun time than the first. Because, you know, they get it. The first one was low rent kiddie crap. This one's going to be low rent horror crap, but it's meant for adults. Or at least anyone over the age of 10. Warwick Davis, as usual, fantastic. In this one, some of the best parts are just facial acting where he doesn't even have to say anything. There's a party sneaking into a house and he's just like, ooh. I kicked the fucking tripod. And also a part where Warwick Davis, like the leprechaun's at a bar and they look down like the aisle counter thing and he's just sitting there staring at them all pissed off like. That was probably the best Warwick Davis has ever been in any Leprechaun movie. Just silent, subtle acting. Yeah, I said subtle in a Leprechaun review. Think about that for a second. And this movie, another thing it gets right. The first one, you know, you got a leprechaun character. He wants his gold. And, you know, playing up the whole Irish thing. Oh, I'm a leprechaun, diddly-dee, doodle-loo, potatoes, stuff like that. Technically, potatoes might not even come until the third movie. And this one does that pretty well, too. This one, they play up the rhyming probably the best it ever is, I think. This one, I believe, has the most rhyming. Because I'm pretty sure every line in this movie is a rhyme, and an awesome one at that. And then I think in the third movie they do a lot of good rhyming. The first movie had it here and there. There's some fun rhymes. There's a good killer too, you know, like a Leprechaun. This guy, he bought her a chili dog or something, so he's like, hey, can I get some? But she's got a boyfriend. And the Leprechaun's, he's like, you leave my woman alone. So he like, use a magical illusion. The guy goes to the garage, thinks she's like gonna bang him in the garage. Puts his face in what he thinks is her boobs, or stunt double's boobs. It's very clear by the way it's shot. But it ends up being like, I don't know, a lawnmower blade. It got turned upwards so that it's the bottom and he sticks his face in. It's just, that's gruesome implied. They show just a teeny bit, but just the gruesomeness was enough to get me like, ugh. Morty the con man, you know, there's a lot of fun with him. He's luring the leprechaun into a drinking game, stuff like that. You got Tony Cox from Bad Santa shows up for like 2 minutes. It's like, he was creepy too. He was just like, his whole performance just like, want some chocolate? Like it was creeping me out. And then, and then he walks up to I forget the urinal. Walks up to a urinal and it's way too big and he's just looking in it. Like, like, I don't know what he's doing. I guess the joke is like, how am I gonna pee in there? But he didn't play it like that. He played it like... It was really weird. Like Morty, the character Morty, you know, Jack Klomp is Jerry, it's a good pen. He's good. He's always been good, like from Seinfeld to this. So, in both things I've seen him in, he's good. But the main kid, I thought he was alright. He was a likable protagonist, a little bland but likable. And the girl, you know, she's hot and she can scream good when she needs to. But she's not a good actress. She's pretty terrible, actually. And her voice is actually kind of weird. It's really deep. It's deep and odd, weird, but I like it either way. So like our crew of people to follow, the main protagonists are much more likable than last time. They're very dull cast in the last movie. This one they're at least likable. This movie got what the concept should be and did it more properly. The only problem really that bothered me besides the girls acting was the ending is very forgettable. They're lost in the Leprechaun's tree hovel hideout, which is in front of Harry Houdini's house in Los Angeles. Yeah, I said that. Think about that for a second. Yeah, but they're in there and then it just ends like, okay, magic switcheroo powers and illusions, and then they stab him and he blows up. Like the first one, they shot a four-leaf clover at him and said, fuck you, Lucky Charms. This time it's like, haha! And then he slowly hurts more until he blows up. It's like, oh, that's kind of generic lame. In the first movie too, I even forgot to mention, after they do the fuck you, Lucky Charms and like he starts like melting and stuff, they push him down a well and pour some gas in there and drop a match and it blows up like it was an atom bomb. Yeah, the first one had a very over-the-top but enjoyable ending, even if it didn't make sense. This one was pretty lame. But yeah, Leprechaun 2, more of a fun time. They get what they're doing. They're doing it better than the first movie for sure. Much more enjoyable. Probably one of my favorites of this franchise. I'd give this movie a B. It's just a silly, fun, gory old time. Fun is the best word to describe it. These movies, they're never going to be great. You're never going to get Oscar-winning performances or writing or directing anything, but as long as they're fun, it's okay, and this one is fun for sure. So comment below, tell me you thought of Leprechaun 2, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.